Jakarta, Indonesia, for the extraordinary meeting and summit on Palestine held by the Organization of the Islamic Cooperation, where they tackled the Palestinian issue, the Israeli activities there, and the siege on Gaza. And in light of this, also, Egypt has linked the cooperation between the Palestinian Hamas group and the Brotherhood organization and accused them of being responsible of killing the state prosecutor Hisham Barakat. This was obviously denied by Hamas, said this was going against and contrary to the strengthening of ties between Hamas and Cairo. We're going to be talking about this issue and this trip tonight, and joining us here in the studio to shed more light on this issue is Dr. Ihab Ammar, the political analyst. We're also joined by Dr. Masoud, the professor of political science and economics at Beni Suef University. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, before we start our discussion, let's check out this report regarding Foreign Minister Sameh Shukri reiterating that he believes the siege on Gaza should be lifted, and we'll be right back.
The people addressing the Organization of Islamic Cooperation OIC summit in Jakarta on Palestine and the situation in the holy city of Al-Quds, Shukri called for joint efforts to remove the Israeli-imposed siege on Gaza. The top diplomat referred to the situation of Palestinians residing in Al-Quds city and said they need the Islamic country's assistance to resist against Israel's policies of Judaization of the holy city. Earlier, Shukri met with the Secretary General of the OIC, Ihab Madani, to discuss the summit's agenda and stressed the importance of the peace process in Palestine. According to a statement by Indonesia's Foreign Affairs Ministry, those confirming their attendance include more than 500 delegates from 49 OIC member states, 4 representatives from the Quartet on the Middle East, United States, Russia, the United Nations, and the European Union, as well as 5 UN Security Council representatives and 3 observer countries. Senior officials met on Sunday, while high-level meetings between heads of state were held on Monday. Spokesperson for the Egyptian Foreign Ministry, Ahmed Abu Zaid, said the summit was being held at the request of the Palestinian Authority after increased violence in recent months. The summit made decisions concerning the Palestinian issue in spite of the proliferation of armed conflicts in a number of Muslim countries. The event came up with a resolution to reaffirm the principal position of OIC member countries in support of an independent Palestine. The summit is important to demonstrate the solidarity of the Islamic world for Palestine, which declared its independence in 1967. On the sidelines of the summit, Saudi Minister of Foreign Affairs Adel Jubair met with Shukri, Palestinian Foreign Minister Al-Malki, Bangladeshi Foreign Minister Abu Hassan Mahmoud Ali, and the Deputy Foreign Minister of Yemen, Nabil Maisari, as well as the Minister of State in the United Arab Emirates, Maitha Shamsi.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and starting our discussion regarding Foreign Minister Sameh Shukri's visit to Indonesia, Jakarta. Now, Dr. Masoud, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation held this summit and this meeting upon the request of the Palestinian authorities. Now, what is the significance of the organization itself holding this summit, not any other, not the Arab League, for instance? What is the importance and the significance of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation actually holding this summit? And at this time now, do you feel that tackling the Palestinian issue now is a timely thing? Do you think that it will have some sort of effect, keeping in mind the timing of it?
Well, actually, let me tell you something. When Israel was established under religion cover, all right? Mm-hmm. So now, after many years, and when the confrontation with Israel and Arab all these years and all these wars, well, now we are getting back in as Muslims to take care of this issue under the umbrella of Islamic organization, all right? Islamic Cooperation Organization, or the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. Mm-hmm. So for me, this is a really good start. Instead of now the conflict between Shias and Muslim, Shias and Sunnis is getting heated now. So we're better actually to get together Muslims as Shias and Sunnis and to take care of the Palestinian issue under the organization that it is a religious religion. It has a religion coverage. This one issue. The second issue that the the Organization of Islamic Cooperation has members that they are very strong in military approaches. They have very strong in political area. So getting under this coverage is going to be very very important. But the main issue here is going to be a summit and giving some recommendations, or is going to taking some strategic actions and tactics to deal with the Palestinian issues. For me, until now we are talking about talking. There was no clear action and strategy and tactics regarding dealing with the issue of Palestine. But the more important thing, well, the summit was concentrating in Gaza, which is a huge mistake. It is not about Gaza, it is about Palestine. Okay, and the only way to deal with Israel within a thorough way is to unify Palestinians first. You cannot have all this conflict between Hamas and Fatah, and after that, if you are inside, you are not unified. How come other people are going to be unified around you to support you? So I hope, actually, I really hope that it's going to be effective. But I really want to emphasize also the role of Egypt to support the Palestinian issues, regardless of what Hamas is doing. What Hamas is doing actually to threat our national security.
Yes, we'll definitely be talking about that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, Dr. Ammar, now the Foreign Minister traveled on Saturday, came back on Monday, and talked about the Palestinian issue, focusing on Gaza as well. Now, in many conferences, in many summits and meetings, this issue has been high on the agenda of the discussions. But what do you see would be the outcome of such a conference of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation? They all talk of the necessity to stop the Israeli activities that are taking place there, the settlement building, going back to the negotiating table. Do you feel that there could be a different, more practical outcome, a military one, a strategic one, some sort of political actions that need to be taken instead of just waiting to go back to the negotiations table?
First, let me say something about what Hamas succeeded in is to divide the Palestinian case to the Palestinian case and Gaza case. So now we don't have one problem. We have two problems. The problem of Palestine, which is very quiet now, and then the problem of Gaza, the resistance, the fighters against Israel, the people who are working hard for liberation, which is not true at all. What Hamas is doing, that they betrayed the Palestinian case, they delay the Palestinian state. Of course, they are threatening our national security, and this is very risky for them, not for us. For them. They have to remember that this is Egypt. If they don't remember that, someone got to remind them, this is Egypt. And we are not going to go on under the pressure, the emotionally pressures about, well, they are Palestinians. Yeah, being a Palestinian doesn't give you the right to kill my soldiers in my own land. So, what will come I think nothing will come out. We will keep talking, like Doctor said, and they will keep talking. And some people are very benefited out of the Palestinian case. I think they want to keep it that way. Having summits, meetings, negotiations, whatever, will not solve this problem. What will solve it? It's not up to me to say it. It's up to the leaders to decide and see what is better for this population, who are very important to us. The Palestinians are a very important population for us Egyptians. We get souls, hundreds of thousands of souls for this case. Unfortunately, part of the Palestinian people now they are rewarding us by killing our soldiers. The same soldiers who give their souls for them. So, Mr. Hani, let me tell you what I'm really care of is my national security, not Gaza, not Hamas. I think they are doing well with Israel. They are having a very good relationship. I don't mean about what you see. Like if you remember, Hamas has launched hundreds of rockets.
Yes.
Not even one cat was dead. But still they are resistance. They are resisting, and they are fighters and whatever.
Well, you've mentioned that there are certain countries that would benefit from the stalling of the peace negotiations. Which countries would you actually, or what are you referring to?
America, UK, Iran,
And Turkey.
Hamas,
And Turkey.
Hamas,
Yes.
And Turkey.
and Turkey.
And Turkey.
For sure. Those are the ones who have been doing very well about this.
Yes.
And this case, one day will be solved, but not in the way we are dealing. Not we are dealing. What they are dealing, the Palestinians themselves. How come a state, which is not a state yet, are fighting against each other? I mean, I take a part of my homeland and say, well, I will rule this part, and then I ask for freedom. That's a joke. That's really a black comedy. What is going on in Gaza is just arbitrary to the Palestinian case. If they are serious about having their homeland back again, and they having their new state, Hamas should give its weapon to the Palestinian Authority, give them the power on the borders. They are free together who will be in the government, whatever, that's not our issue, but it has to be one government, one ruler, not two. And I think this will not happen because that's why Hamas have been made for. It's not to get the Palestinian people in one side.
Well, Dr. Masoud, you've mentioned that in order to solve this issue, we should start actually by uniting the Palestinians.
Yes.
And Egypt has been really taking up on a huge role in mediating between the Palestinian side and the Israeli side, and within Palestine talking and moderating between Hamas and Fatah. And really, these efforts have been going on for decades. Now, why has it still been unsuccessful to unite both Fatah and Hamas? And if the goal is common, to have an independent Palestinian state under one rule, under one unity government, why has it been so hard to achieve? And do you feel that Egypt can still play that role in mediating and being a meeting point for both sides, or do you think another country should take that role?
Well, actually, Egypt is going to be in the scene forever. not because of the historical side, but because of the Egyptian leadership and the Egyptian military know that the Palestinian issue is connected directly to our national security. So this is what we are doing for ourselves first, and then for the Palestinians and Arabs. Yes, Hamas started some months ago, or even years ago, since 2013, to engage Turkey so much. And for me, it is really funny, because when Turkey actually has a huge economic ties with Israel, it reached to $5.6 billion every year. The volume of the trade between Israel and Turkey, it is 5.6 billion every year. And they have a strategic cooperation in military and intelligence. And Mr. Erdogan came out and said, hey, we are supporting Palestinians. To what sense? Well, show me your actions. Show me your action. You have strategic tie, military ties with Israel, very strong ties with Israel, economically, strategically, military. Well, for sure, if you are taking the side of Israel, you will never be on the side of Palestinians in the river. Look how we deal with the issue in the Egyptian side. In the Egyptian side, well, our strategic direction with Palestinians, even though actually our leadership until now succeed so much to keep the Hamas and what the Hamas is doing out of the Palestinian issues, because Palestinian issues, it is Egypt is taking lead because it's national security issues. And Hamas actually, I believe what Hamas is doing is trying to take the role of Egypt and submit it to others. Sometimes you go to Iran and sometimes you go to Turkey. But at the end of the day, as Dr. Ammar said, we sacrificed almost 120,000 of the best of our men, defending our lands and because of the Palestinian issues and Israel. So this issue, why Palestinians are not unified? Because actually, unfortunately, they extremely lost their direction. Well, their direction should to be toward Israel. Right, should be fighting with Israel. Look how the economic ties between Israel and Palestinians, how many Palestinians are working in Israel. The economic ties, and the merchandise and the trade between Palestinian and Israel, which is much higher than any part of the area actually. And so this issue, the other issue, go back to, do you remember when actually Arafat was actually surrounded by Israelis, and when the Israelis bombed the airport in the airport and they found that Arafat has aircrafts and he has lots of cars and lots of luxury. How can you say that you are fighting to liberate your country and you're living this life? I'm not talking only about Arafat. Arafat has a great history of defending Palestine for sure, but at one point, Palestinians lost direction completely. Lost direction. Now what they are doing? As Dr. Ammar said, well, from time to time they have a small confrontation with Israelis, and it ended up by killing a couple of Israelis and thousands of Palestinians. Well, sometimes couples wasn't hurt anyway. But that's strange. Look, when our land in Egypt was threatened, look how many countries and empire conquered Egypt, but they never stayed. Why? Because every single Egyptian was committed to sacrifice his blood, his soul to defend his nation. Egyptians all over Egypt, they were fighting against the British, they were fighting against the French, they fighting against Israeli. They fight all over the history, and they never look for controlling the government and so on and reaching to the power once they are under fire. Palestinian under not under fire only, is under fire and under even slaughtering, and they are fighting against us. How can you say there are freedom fighters from a state that it needs to liberate it, and some of them are fighting and even throwing the other party from the buildings. Look, Egypt supported Palestinians so much, and all the weapons that we help some of them to hand it in a way or another, and sometimes even smuggled to Palestinians, and these weapons and bullets now it is turned to our soldiers. So Palestinians completely lost directions. In that way, they will never get any inch of Palestine's back unless they get unified. They know that they are fighting for their lands, and they really act like really freedom fighter men to take over their country again.
Well, Dr. Ammar, our top diplomat, Sameh Shukri, actually called on lifting the siege imposed on Gaza by the Israelis. And it's not just Egypt that's calling for that, but a lot of countries all over the world, not just even the Islamic and the Arab world. What about Israel? How likely do you feel Israel is willing to heed to such requests? What would actually make Israel lift the Israeli blockade imposed on Gaza? What needs to be done?
Is that true? I mean, is that block is made? Is that true? I mean, is it really true? Or is it just how it looks like? And everything is going on under table. Very well. Once again, when Hamas asked Egypt every day to open the Egyptian borders, well, I closed the Egyptian borders because my soldiers are getting killed by people from Hamas and from Daesh, who stays, and Hamas opened Gaza to them as a safe house to kill our soldiers and run back through the tunnels to have dinner in Gaza. And you're still asking me to open the borders and to... What is happening between Hamas and Israel, with my full respect to Mr. Sameh Shukri, our Ministry of Foreign Affairs, who we really respect, that's up to people from Hamas and Israel, because our relationship between us and Hamas and us and Israel is never better than the relationship between Hamas and Israel. And this is a fact. And we have to deal with this fact. They have to communicate together. They are living together. They are, like Doctor said, they're having a very well economic cooperation. They negotiate every day. They have phone calls. They have coffee together in the morning. So we have a country, which is Egypt, to care of. This is the most important. Yes, we will support the Palestinian case politically, but for now, we have a country to build. We have borders and national security to secure. When I was coped by foreign powers, I never asked anyone to come and fight with me to liberate my country. The Egyptian people fought alone, and they get their freedom back alone. So everybody is free to fight, and we will support politically. I think, of course, our president will never let go this case politically, but we have much important things by now. We have to do it. Hamas can handle their own issues.
Yes. Well, Dr. Masoud, they actually also discussed the situation in Al-Quds, and everyone knows the importance of Al-Quds to all Arab countries and all Islamic countries. Now, what can be done by the Islamic countries in light of this summit by the Organization of Islamic Cooperation? What can be done to actually control or restrict the Israeli policies that are being exercised in Al-Quds?
Well, actually, it has to. We have to have a very defined strategic action regarding what Israel is doing. Just getting leaders together and Minister of Foreign Affairs together and discuss about what is going on in Al-Quds is not going to solve the problem. What the actions, who will do what, when, how, what is going to cost, who will pay for it. Okay, we have to work internationally, but guess what? The international community are supporting Israel so much. Look at the American elections, and every one of the candidates actually came out saying, wow, Israel is, and so on and so on. So the issue is really, we have to have it's a very big fight for the Muslim world, actually. And when it comes to Quds, it is not only about, it is a Palestinian city or whatever, it is all Muslim city. This is a place that it has a very holy sense, exactly, in the all Muslim world. So I'm really not satisfied about what is getting out of all this summit. I really need very strong actions. I really need long-run actions. I'm not saying that, hey, okay, let us get our armies and liberate Quds. No, it is not going to get this way. No way, it's not going to get this way. But what is our vision, maybe after 10 years from today? What our vision to deal with the Palestinian issues? But I will go back again to the main point that no one gonna solve the Palestinian issue unless Palestinians are unified under one umbrella and target their efforts only for one target, to liberate their lands. If this happens, this will make things easier for Organization of Islamic Summit, whatever. So and guess what? I'm repeating something else. The main power moving actually the Organization of Islamic Cooperation is the Arab world regarding the Palestinian issues. So if the Arab countries in this organization does not really act in a specific way, who's gonna take care about Palestine? Do you think Iranians and Turkish and other countries are gonna really take a step toward liberating Palestinians? No. So we Arabs are dealing with this issue. We have been supporting the Palestinian issue, military, and as we said, 120,000 soldiers, the best of our men actually. And this is only Egypt. And the rest of other countries are supporting, and some of them are supporting financially. Well, and what the Palestinians are using this money for? I really would love to see Palestinians, all Palestinians, fighters, not holding the stones and throwing it into a tank. You are kidding me? Saying that I'm just trying to liberate my nation. You get a stone and throw it on a tank, where your Hamas actually having a huge business built on tunnels and smuggling goods and commodities across countries. You're just dealing with business. So let me conclude that without the Palestinians' unifications and specify their targets and work hard and allocate and mobilize all their efforts toward liberating Palestinians, no one else can do anything to them.
Well, Dr. Ammar, what's your take on what should be done for really lifting these Israeli policies being exercised in Al-Quds?
Mr. Hani, Doctor, we have to face the facts. we have to stand in front of the mirror. If we are talking about Al-Quds as an Islamic case, from which point of view, from which Islam we are talking about? If us Muslims, we are not united, if we have different visions about our own religion, if we stand in different points from our religion, how can we tell the world to respect our religious places, mosques, ideas? The world is dealing with us one by one, not by Muslim. I myself, I refuse to make it a religious case, because if you go to a country like Iran, it is an Islamic country, and we see what Iran is doing. It's combing Arabic lands. It's killing Arabic people. Even Iranian Muslims, they are killing them. Like Dr. said, in Turkey, Mr. Whatever his name is, the Prime Minister,
Ahmed Davutoglu.
yeah, that, really. This person is supporting the Muslim Brotherhood. And it happens that Muslim Brotherhood and the Khomeinian state are just two faces for the same coin. And they are partners. And they have very old and deep relationship. And this is, I think, very well known to anybody. So, if we talk about Quds, we have to talk about the city, not about the mosque. The land, not the mosque. This land is an Arabic land.
Yes.
It happens, and where a mosque is built on this land. But we have to talk about the Arabic land.
Yes.
Because taking this case to the religious area, if you tell me, well, we are Muslims, I will tell you, who are you? Which Muslim are you? Are you Daesh or the Muslim Brotherhood, or are you the Khomeini, or are you whatever? We lose the case because we are not anymore Muslim. So I prefer to take the case of Al-Quds city to the nationalist case. It's my own land, no matter what is built in it. But it has to be that way, because what really made us lose all this time is about remaining in the same religious area.
Yes. Well, talking about the Palestinian factions, Egypt has accused Hamas and the Muslim Brotherhood of assassinating the state prosecutor Hisham Barakat. Let's take a look at this report and we'll be right back.
Egypt linked Palestinian group Hamas and the exiled leadership of the Brotherhood terrorist organization to the assassination of the country's public prosecutor Hisham Barakat last year. Interior Minister Mahdi Abdel Ghaffar said the attack was directed by the Brotherhood's leadership operating out of Turkey in coordination with Hamas. He told reporters that the car bombing that killed Barakat was carried out by members of the Brotherhood trained in the Gaza Strip by Hamas. He added 14 people were arrested in connection with the prosecutor's assassination, adding that the attack was ordered by Turkey-based officials of the Brotherhood, whilst Hamas provided training and explosives. Minister said Hamas trained, prepared and oversaw the implementation of Barakat's assassination, describing it as a very big conspiracy that started a long time ago. Abdel Ghaffar said that no member of Hamas had directly participated in Barakat's murder, but they were involved in the planning and training of those who carried it out. He added that some Bedouins helped the members of the cell center enter the Gaza Strip from Sinai. He screened a film which included several individuals purportedly confessing to have joined the Brotherhood in conducting the assassination. However, a spokesman for the group, Sami Abu Zuhri, called that Egypt's accusations were baseless and not in harmony with the efforts being exerted to develop the relationship between Hamas and Cairo. Authorities arrested 6 people in connection with the killing. Barakat, age 65, was killed outside his Cairo home, and there was no claim of responsibility for the attack. Late Barakat was the most senior official to be killed in Egypt in 25 years.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Continuing our discussion, Dr. Masoud, now Egypt has come out full on and accused Hamas of cooperating with the Muslim Brotherhood in the case of assassinating the state prosecutor Hisham Barakat. Now, even though that this is something that a lot of people have suspected, a lot of observers and analysts have suspected this before, now Egypt has come out and said it out in the open. Is there any sort of significance for Egypt making such a move now?
Yes. Actually, when Hamas is actually intervening in the Egyptian case, when actually supported all of what happens after the 25th of January revolutions 2011, I never, ever can forget when people from Hamas came here to get to our jails and take off people in a break and actually walk through our land in this very humiliating way. We're never gonna forget it. And Hamas is supporting Daesh, as Dr. Ammar said. Hamas is supporting Beit al-Maqdis before. Hamas is killing our soldiers there. And if they are not killing, they are helping people who to kill. So it is not that strange to hear that, well, they participated and supported the killing of Hisham Barakat. First of all, let me say it very clear. We trust our institutions. So when the Ministry of Internal Affairs, the Minister of Internal Affairs came out saying that we have the facts, and we concluded after 6 months. It is not after 6 hours they say that Hamas is actually cooperating. It's been 6 months. All these national security officers and all these officers in the Ministry of Internal Affairs, and I believe intelligence also as well, and all these institutions are working together to get this conclusion, based on facts, not on emotions. Okay, so first of all, there is no room to talk about we suspect that or not suspect. We trust our institutions, especially the facts came after 6 months of working hard to get the issue. So we trust it. No room even to talk about suspecting what is.
Yes, well, Hamas is actually dismissing that there are any bases.
They are big liars. They are big liars. Well, don't forget, after the 30th of June, when they get all these vehicles with all these automatic guns and they have all these barracks in Gaza and threatening the Egyptian army, saying that we are supporting the Egyptian fight, of freedom fight of Islamic movement there. Okay, and after that they are keeping saying, oh no, we really didn't support them. How come? Some of the Muslim Brotherhood are hiding in Hamas. Why they are hiding them? They are intervening. They are just crazy guys. They love their issues and come to our issues to intervene in it. Now we have the priority, as Dr. Ammar says, and I can see it from the Egyptian leadership and the whole Egyptian community. Egypt is first. Egypt is the first. First, we help our people. We help our country, and we help our people and our citizens for sure, and then we help others. Our real challenge, how to keep Egypt safe. We have all the challenge from the east, and now we have another challenge from the west. Okay, which I myself suspect that these guys in the western Libya are trained to somehow by. And they connected to the Islamic movement in Palestine. Look, they are training people to fight us in every way. So Egypt, I believe, has to make it clear.
Yes.
I can see it in the direction that Egypt is first, and we are supporting to what extent the Palestinian issues.
Yes.
It does not mean that we are supporting Hamas. We are supporting Palestinian, however, we should be tough on Hamas.
Yes, well, talking about that now, Egypt, Dr. Ammar, has been really in the foreground of actually mediating between the Palestinians and Israelis, trying to get the Palestinians united, Fatah and Hamas. Now, and even Foreign Minister Sameh Shukri in the Organization of Islamic Cooperation really talked about supporting the Palestinian cause and everything. And now Egypt is actually accusing Hamas of cooperating with the Muslim Brotherhood in assassinating the state prosecutor, their own children. How does that change Egypt's approach in dealing with the Palestinian issue and specifically dealing with Hamas? Do you feel that this will change the dynamics of the relationship between Egypt and the Palestinian issue, or having to deal with Hamas as well?
Let us agree first that Hamas is part of the Muslim Brotherhood.
Yes. Yes.
Officially.
Yes.
Officially.
Yes.
Okay. In the theory of the Muslim Brotherhood, that the land, homeland, means nothing. It's only just a dirty dust. Right? So we are dealing with people who don't believe in their own homeland. Who's Hamas? Okay. So when Egypt is supporting the Palestinian case, Hamas is out of this.
But they are Palestinians. They are considered being part of the Palestinian community.
I believe that who see his homeland a dirty dust has no right to be part of his homeland, even if he carries the nationality of this homeland. The Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt, I don't see them Egyptians. So as well as Hamas, as they are Muslim Brotherhood, I don't see them Palestinians. But out of this, what we have to say now, and we have to be very clear about it. Now, I learned since Mr. President Assisi came to power that he don't talk before he is sure. And he don't tell stories, but he tells fact that was already started at least, or it has been done. So, accusing Hamas, I believe that this file was on the office of Mr. President. Good. So, the President gave his agreement to say this to the Egyptians because they have the right to know who killed Hisham Barakat. We have the right. Okay. So, we trust, like Doctor said, our institutions. We trust our authority. We trust our leader. Then the accuse to Hamas is true. Blindly.
Well, do you think that we probably won't be hearing about any efforts by the Egyptian government to unite Hamas and Fatah?
Then we are playing. We are not ruling, and I don't think this will happen, because if I do this, I'm giving more power to the terrorists who are killing my men. But actually, what I am waiting for is to make the killer of Hisham Barakat and our soldiers, and who kidnapped the officer and the policeman, and who we don't know where they are till now, and we believe they are done by Hamas. As an Egyptian citizen, I want to see, and I need to see, and I have to see who done that is paying back.
Yes.
Sorry, Mr. Hani.
Yes, go ahead.
I have the full right to ask my country, starting from the president and my government, to make who killed Hisham Barakat and our soldiers in Sina to pay back powerfully, in full power, and we will not accept less than that, because it's not possible. Otherwise, how can I trust that if someone kills me, my country will not make him pay back?
Yes. Well, Dr. Masoud, the accusation made by Egypt included Hamas and the Muslim Brotherhood organization, and they actually referred to exiled members of the Muslim Brotherhood in Turkey. So does that really, should we take this as some sort of maybe directly or indirect involvement of Turkey in the situation? Are we reading too much into it, or should we just take it as some individual exiled members of the Muslim Brotherhood were involved in this assassination?
No, actually, I believe Turkey is playing a huge role in that. Not only as acting a safe house and comfort house for all these terrorists who are acting against Egypt. So for sure, if they really knew that they are hurting Egypt, well, the Prime Minister himself of Turkey came out many times attacking our regime and the Egyptian movement and what happened in all this. The Turkish regime was supporting Mohammed Morsi, who are in power, and they were completely against what happens in 30th of June. So Turkey are there. They are supporting, not only supporting Muslim Brotherhood, but also supporting Daesh, to whom Daesh actually is selling its oil, which it has huge revenues that support them logistically and military and all that. Look at all these cars, Toyota's cars. How come these Daesh who are running in the mountains get all these amounts of cars, all these numbers of cars, except come under cover of one country, and I suspect it is Turkey. So Turkey is here. Turkey is there. But here, maybe, if I may disagree with you, Dr. Dr. Ammar, when we say that Egypt should not intervene to get the Palestinian unified. Every single Palestinian should get unified, and we should play the role of unifying Palestinian people, regardless of who they are. So this is a part of our national security. But keeping Palestinians are unified, it's a part of. But at the same time, I completely agree with you that we really should hold who involved in that accountable for it. How can we do that? I don't know now. How can we hold them accountable for that? But we should do it. And I put some trust, not all the trust actually, in our institutions in dealing with that. How can actually you have to balance between waking Palestinians and fighting Hamas. We don't have. Our goal is not killing any Palestinian, whoever he is. It is not our goal. We are dying for Palestinians for tens of years. And our military actually ethics is dying for Egypt and for Palestinian. And this is when I was in the military. This is what I was learned actually. I was taught in the Egyptian army. We taught our kids that. But so this balance has to be made. How can I do getting Hamas accountable without waking the Palestinian front? Because it's still, I really have to make them unified. So for this reason, I argue with, if I may disagree with you, that the Egyptian role in getting Hamas and Fatah unified, and to show them their target again, to remind them.
So if this is a dilemma for Egypt to try and get those responsible for the assassination of Hisham Barakat to justice, and at the same time trying to unify them with Fatah, do you think that maybe one other option is that Egypt would delegate this role of actually having to unify the Palestinians to another country?
No. It's going to be a killing mistake for us. This is going to be a killing mistake for us, for the Egypt. How come the Palestinian issues in our borders, in our strategic border, and strategic national security issue? How can I just leave my hand on I let other country play around?
Yes.
It's going to be a killing mistake. And I'm sure that the Egyptian authority will never do that.
Yes. Well, Dr. Ammar, because we're running out of time, so you have to say this in 15 seconds. Do you see any hope in actually resolving this situation, keeping in mind our accusation of Hamas finding it taking part of the responsibility for the assassination of Barakat, and at the same time getting the Palestinians and Israelis on the negotiations table again?
When it comes to Hisham Barakat, Hamas will pay back.
Yes.
When it comes to the negotiation between Hamas and Israel, that's something they have to do by their own selves. I'm really busy about my country.
Yes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, definitely a lot of developments have been taking place on the international scene, especially in light of Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry's visit for the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, really dealing with the Palestinian issue, and timely as well. The Egyptian government and the Ministry of Interior has disclosed its accusation of Hamas hand in hand with the Muslim Brotherhood being the reason and the perpetrators behind the assassination of State Prosecutor Hisham Barakat. We're definitely going to be following up all the developments here on Nile International. But before we go, I'd like to thank our very distinguished guest, Dr. Ali Masoud, the Professor of Political Science and Economics at Beni Suef University. And also I'd like to thank Dr. Ihab Ammar, for the political analyst, for his insight in today's topic. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned for more coming up on Nile International. I'm Hani Saif. Thank you for joining us.